The first time Karen looked at me like that, I almost dropped the wrench. It was not loud. She did not say anything wild or cross a line. It was quiet. Her eyes stayed on my hands as I tightened a bolt, like she was watching more than the bed frame. Like she was trying to understand what kind of man I had become and what it might feel like to be close to him. That look hit me harder than if she had said my name out loud. My name is Caleb. I am 25. I live in a small town in Oregon where every day feels familiar. Pine trees line the roads. The lake sits still most mornings. The diner knows my order before I speak. I fix things for a living. Shelves, decks, roofs, furniture that shows up in heavy boxes with confusing instructions. It is not exciting, but it keeps my hands busy and my thoughts quiet. My mom passed away 2 years ago. After that, I stopped chasing anything that felt like it might break me. I kept my life simple. Work, home, sleep, repeat. I rent a small place near the edge of town with a crooked porch and a view of trees that move like they are whispering secrets. Ryan has been my best friend since we were kids. We grew up fishing at the lake, sneaking sodas from his fridge, staying up too late in his basement playing video games. Ryan left town. He made it big. He is an aerospace engineer in Atlanta now. He talks about flights and deadlines like it is normal life. Last Friday, while I was sanding a table in my workshop, my phone buzzed. Ryan texted me saying his mom bought an old wooden bed frame and needed help putting it together. He offered to pay me. I laughed and told him no payment was needed. Karen had always been strong. She fixed her own sink. She carried all the groceries in one trip. Still, I said I would stop by. I told myself it was nothing, just helping out. Just visiting a house full of old memories. That evening, I drove my beat-up truck toward the lake. Karen's house looked the same as always. Cedar siding, big windows. A porch swing moving slowly in the wind. The sun was setting, painting the water gold. It felt like stepping into the past. I knocked. The door opened right away. Karen stood there in a dark green shirt and faded jeans. Her curly hair was tied back loosely, a few strands falling around her face. She smiled when she saw me, and something tight pulled in my chest. She looked like the same Karen I remembered, but I did not feel like the same kid. "Caleb," she said warmly, "you're all grown up." She hugged me, quick but close. I caught the scent of lavender, and for a moment I was 15 again, sitting on her couch with sunburned shoulders and greasy hair. Then I stepped back and felt how different everything was. My hands were bigger, my life heavier, and she did not feel like just someone's mom anymore. She felt like a woman. She led me to the bedroom where the bed frame lay in pieces across the floor. Walnut wood, heavy, old. I set my tools down and started sorting parts, already seeing how it would come together. Karen leaned against the doorway with a mug of tea, watching me like she had nowhere else to be. "Still good with your hands?" she asked, her head tilted slightly. I smiled and joked that I had not broken anyone's house yet. She laughed softly. The sound stayed in the room longer than it should have. I worked quietly, tightening bolts, sliding pieces together. The only sounds were metal turning and the floor creaking when she shifted her weight. Then she said something that made my hand freeze. "You know, your mom would have been proud." Hearing my mom's name still hurt. Most people avoided it. Karen did not. She said it gently, like it was safe to feel. I swallowed and nodded, forcing a small smile. She stepped a little closer, not touching, but close enough that I felt her presence. After an hour, the bed frame was standing. Solid. I stood and stretched. Karen's eyes followed the movement, slow and careful. "Want some coffee?" she asked. Real coffee. She left the room and came back with 2 mugs. Our fingers brushed when she handed me mine, and my heart jumped hard. She sat down on the edge of the unfinished bed like she was testing it. I told myself I was imagining things, that I was tired, lonely, overthinking. The wood creaked once as she shifted. She looked up at me, her voice low. "You should try it," she said. "Try what?" I asked. She nodded toward the bed. Then she looked back at me, her voice softer now. deeper, like she was admitting something she had held inside too long. "With someone," she said. "Like me." The room felt smaller. The air smelled like coffee and lavender and old wood. My mouth went dry. In that moment, I realized the bed was not what she wanted me to test. She wanted to know if I would stay, and I did not know if I was strong enough to walk away. I stood there holding my coffee like it was the only solid thing left in the room. Karen sat on the edge of the bed frame, one hand resting on the wood, the other wrapped around her mug. She was calm in a way that made my chest feel loud, like she had already decided something and was waiting to see if I would run. "Karen?" I said, and my voice sounded rough, like I had not used it in a while. "What are you saying right now?" Quote. She did not rush her answer. She looked at me the way people do when they are tired of pretending. "I'm saying I don't want to feel invisible anymore," she said. "And I'm saying I've watched you grow into a man who builds things that hold." That hit me harder than anything else she could have said. Not flirting, not temptation. Truth, heavy and honest. "I'm Ryan's mom," she added, like she knew exactly where my mind was going. "I know what that means." I swallowed. "He's my best friend," I said. "I grew up in this house. I ate your food. I called you mom sometimes." "I know," she said softly. "I remember." The bed frame creaked as she shifted, and for some reason that sound grounded me. Wood, screws, simple things. Feelings were not simple. I set my wrench down slowly and took a step closer, then stopped. I did not trust myself to go any farther. "What changed?" I asked. "Why now?" Karen looked down at her mug. Her thumb traced the rim like she needed something to do with her hands. "Ryan left," she said. And the house got quieter than I expected. The marriage I lost years ago left space I never filled. I blinked. I had known about the divorce, but not the loneliness behind it. She had always seemed strong, steady, like she did not need anyone. "I didn't plan to say any of this," she went on. "You came here to help with a bed. I should have kept my mouth shut." She started to stand, like she wanted to take it all back, to retreat into being the woman who made dinner and never said the hard things. Without thinking, I reached out and caught her wrist gently. She froze. So did I. Her skin was warm, real. The contact sent a jolt through me so sharp my stomach flipped. I let go right away like I had touched fire. "I'm sorry," I said quickly. "No," she whispered. "It's okay." We stood too close, the air thick with everything we were not saying. Then she sat back down, like she had decided not to run anymore. "I've watched you come back to this town and keep your head down," she said. "I've watched you carry grief like you think it's something you have to handle alone." That surprised me. "You notice that?" She nodded. "I notice more than people think." I looked away, my eyes landing on the bed frame again. "I should finish," I said. "It's not done yet." She let me have the excuse. "Of course." I dropped to my knees and started sliding the slats into place, lining them up carefully. My hands were steady because my hands knew what to do. My heart did not. Behind me, Karen stayed quiet, watching. I could feel her presence like warmth at my back. When I tightened the last screw, I stood up and wiped my hands on my jeans. "Okay," I said. "Try it now. It's solid." She leaned back onto the mattress slowly, testing the frame. It did not move. It held. She nodded, satisfied, but her eyes stayed on me. "You build things like you mean it," she said, "like you want them to last." I tried to joke. "I just don't like doing a job twice." She smiled, but it was soft and serious. "It's more than that." Before I could respond, my phone buzzed in my pocket. The sound felt too loud in the quiet room. I pulled it out without thinking. A text from Ryan. "Thanks again for helping Mom. You're the best, man." My stomach dropped. Karen saw my face change and knew right away. She stood slowly, her hand going to her chest. "I shouldn't have said anything," she whispered. "I'm sorry." Guilt hit me hard, but so did something else. Honesty. Because even with Ryan's words on my screen, I could not pretend I had not felt it too. I locked my phone and slid it back into my pocket. "Karen," I said quietly, "I don't know what this is, and I don't want to hurt him." She nodded. "Then don't do anything," she said. Not yet. Just be honest with yourself. The house creaked as the wind moved the porch swing outside. She walked toward the doorway, then paused. Stay for dinner if you want, she said without turning around. No pressure. Just dinner. I stood there, looking at the bed I had built. Solid, steady, holding more than wood. I stayed. Not because dinner sounded good, but because leaving felt like running from something that had been building quietly for longer than I wanted to admit. The kitchen filled with the smell of garlic and tomatoes. Karen moved like she always had, calm and practiced. Everything looked normal. Nothing felt safe. We ate in quiet conversation, light on purpose. Work, the town, nothing personal, but every pause felt heavy. Halfway through, I noticed the faint tan line on her finger, where a ring used to be. You're thinking about him, she said softly. Yeah, I admitted. Then don't betray him, she said. The directness hurt because it was true. I pushed my plate away, appetite gone. I don't want to be that guy. You're not, she said. You're just standing at the edge of something you didn't expect. I looked at her and felt the truth settle in my chest. This was not a moment. It was a choice. And I could feel that whatever came next was going to change everything. The silence after dinner felt heavier than the conversation itself. Karen stood at the sink rinsing plates, the sound of running water filling the kitchen like it was trying to keep us from thinking too hard. I grabbed a towel and started drying without asking. We moved around each other easily, the way people do when they have known each other a long time, even if the shape of that knowing had changed. Our shoulders brushed once, just once. It was enough to make my breath hitch. I want to ask you something, Karen said, turning the water off and facing me. My stomach tightened. Okay. She held my eyes, steady and serious. If Ryan wasn't my son, would you have let yourself feel this? Quote, the question cut straight through every excuse I had. I opened my mouth, then closed it. I did not want to lie. Yes, I said quietly. Her breath caught. She swallowed, then asked the second question like she had been holding it back all night. And if I wasn't his mom, would you want me to touch you right now? My heart slammed so hard I felt it in my throat. I did not step back. I did not step forward either. Yes, I said, my voice low. The air between us felt electric. Karen lifted her hand slowly, giving me time to stop her. Her fingers hovered near my cheek, warm even before they touched. When they did, it was light, careful, like she was testing something fragile. Every muscle in my body went still. Then my phone buzzed. I flinched like I had been caught doing something wrong, because maybe I had. Karen pulled her hand back instantly, her face pale. I looked down at the screen. Ryan was calling. Karen pressed a hand to her chest. Answer it, she said quickly. Right now. I swiped to accept. Hey, I said, forcing my voice steady. You with my mom? Ryan asked casual, like it was nothing. My skin went cold. I glanced at Karen. She stood frozen, watching me. Yeah, I said, just finished the bed. Stayed for dinner. Ryan laughed. Man, thank you. She sounded happier when she texted me. I've been worried about her being alone out there. Guilt twisted hard in my chest. She's okay, I said. Put her on, he said. I want to say hi. Karen shook her head at first, fear in her eyes. Then she straightened her shoulders and nodded once, choosing strength. I handed her the phone. Hi, sweetheart, she said warmly. Ryan talked about work, traffic, life. Karen laughed at the right times. She asked if he was eating well, if he was sleeping. She sounded like the same mom she had always been. When the call ended, she handed the phone back with a steady hand. The kitchen went quiet again. That, she whispered, staring at the floor, is why this can't be a game. It's not a game to me, I said. Then what is it? She asked. I did not have an answer. Not a clean one. Not one that fixed everything. I only knew what I did not want. I don't want to stop seeing you, I said. And I don't want to hurt him. Karen's lips trembled. Those two things might not fit together. She was right. The truth settled heavy between us. Later that night, I drove home along the lake road with my hands tight on the steering wheel. The trees swayed in the dark like they were whispering about me. When I got home, I sat on my couch and stared at my mom's old toolbox by the door. I had always told myself fixing things kept me grounded. I did not feel grounded at all. I did not sleep. I kept replaying the moment Karen's fingers touched my cheek. Then the way she pulled away. I did not want to be a bad man. I did not want to be a secret. I also could not ignore how light my chest felt when I was with her. The next day, I worked like nothing happened, measured boards, drove screws, nodded at people in the hardware store. My body moved on habit while my mind stayed in her kitchen. Around noon, my phone buzzed. A text from Karen. "Thank you for answering. Thank you for not lying. I'm sorry I pulled you into this." I stared at the screen, then typed back. "You didn't pull me. I walked in. We can't hide this." She replied fast. "I agree. I'm scared, but I agree." That was the moment I knew what I had to do. I called Ryan that evening from behind the diner, watching the sunset bleed through the trees. He answered on the second ring. "What's up, man?" "Ryan," I said, my voice shaking. "I need you to hear me before you say anything." There was a pause. "Okay. I've been at your mom's place a lot," I said. "It started innocent. Coffee, dinner, talking, and now it feels like more. Nothing physical happened, I swear. But I can't pretend I don't feel something." Quote. Silence. "You're telling me you have feelings for my mom," Ryan said finally. "I'm telling you I didn't mean for it to happen," I said, "and I hate myself for it. But you deserve the truth." The quiet on the line felt heavy. Then Ryan spoke, his voice tight. "Put me on with her." "She's not here," I said. "Then tell her I'm coming home," he said. "Tomorrow." The call ended. I stood there shaking, feeling like I had just torn my life open. I texted Karen right away. "He knows. He's coming tomorrow." Her reply came a minute later. "Thank you for being honest. I'll be ready." That night, I did not sleep at all. I waited for morning like it was a storm I could not outrun. The next day felt like waiting for thunder you could already hear in the distance. I went through the motions of work, but nothing stuck. Every sound made me jump. Every minute felt stretched thin. By late afternoon, I parked down the road from Karen's house, close enough to see the porch swing moving with the wind off the lake. I did not go inside. I did not think I had the right. Ryan's rental car pulled into the driveway just before sunset. I stayed where I was, watching. An hour passed, then another. My chest stayed tight the whole time, like I was holding my breath without meaning to. When my phone finally buzzed, it was a text from Karen. "Come." I walked up the gravel path slowly, my boots crunching loud in the quiet. The porch light was on, warm and soft, but nothing about this felt warm. The door opened before I could knock. Ryan stood there. He looked tired, not angry in a loud way, hurt in a deep way. He stepped outside and closed the door behind him, like he did not want this moment to happen inside the house. "I talked to her," he said. I nodded. "Okay." He stared at me like he was trying to understand how I could still be the same person he trusted. "You didn't do anything," he said. "No," I answered. "We didn't cross that line." "But you wanted to," he said. "Yes." Ryan looked toward the lake, jaw tight. "Do you love her?" The question burned. "I don't know if it's love yet," I said, "but I care about her more than I should." Quote. He laughed once, sharp and bitter. "Yeah, that's the problem." The front door opened and Karen stepped onto the porch. She did not look like someone trying to cause damage. She looked like someone who had stopped running. "Ryan," she said softly. "Why him?" he asked, his voice cracking. "Because he was there," she said. "Because he listened. Because he made me feel like I wasn't just waiting for life to end." Ryan flinched. I could see this was not only about me. It was about guilt, distance, the fear that he had missed her pain. "I'm your mom," Karen said. "But I'm also a person. I didn't plan this." I tried to ignore it. Ryan shook his head. "And you want to feel alive with my best friend?" "I want to feel alive," she said. "And I don't want secrets." Ryan's eyes cut to me. "What do you want?" My throat tightened. "I want you in my life," I said, "and I want her in my life. But if I have to choose, I'll step away. Karen turned sharply toward me. Caleb. I won't sneak around, I said. I won't lie to you. I won't be the reason you lose trust in your mom. Quote. Ryan stared at us for a long time, then his shoulders sagged like the fight drained out of him. I need time, he said. You can have time, Karen replied. He looked at me again. You're going to stay away for now, he said. If you respect me, you'll do that. I will, I said. That night, I walked back down the path alone. The porch light stayed on behind me like a quiet promise I was not allowed to touch. Weeks passed. I stayed away. I poured myself into work, built a dining table, fixed a roof. Life kept moving even when my heart felt stuck. Karen texted once. Just 2 words. I'm okay. Ryan did not call. Not for a while. Then one evening, my phone buzzed. Ryan's name lit up the screen. I stared at it before answering. I'm not okay with it, he said. Not fully. I know, I replied. But Mom's happier, he said. She's painting again, laughing. I didn't know she was hurting like that. My chest tightened. I'm glad she's finding herself again. I hate that it's you, he admitted. But I hate more that she was dying inside, and I didn't see it. I stayed quiet. If anything happens, he said, it has to be slow, open, no hiding. I understand, I said. There's an art show next Friday, he added. She wants you there. I'll be there too. My breath caught. Okay. Don't make me regret this, he said. I won't, I promised. Friday night, the community center was filled with folding chairs and paper cups. Karen's paintings lined the walls, full of color and feeling. She stood near a table, nervous, her hair down, paint under one fingernail. When she saw me, her eyes softened. Ryan stepped beside her and said something quiet. She relaxed. Karen walked toward me, stopping close but not touching. Hi, she said. Hi, I replied. Thank you for not running, she whispered. Thank you for not hiding, I said. She held her hand out, palm up, gentle. I took it. Across the room, Ryan watched us. His jaw was tight. His eyes were wet. He did not smile, but he did not look away. And in that moment, standing under bright lights in a small Oregon town, I felt something solid under my feet for the first time in a long while. Not the bed I built, the truth. After the art show, nothing rushed forward. That was the hardest part. People think the hard moment is the confession or the fight or the choice. For me, it was the quiet after, the waiting, the space where something could grow or die, and you did not know which one it would be. Karen and I did not touch that night beyond holding hands. We stood side by side while people talked about her paintings, about color and feeling and courage. Ryan stayed close, not watching us every second, but never fully relaxed either. I understood. I did not blame him. When the night ended, Karen walked me to the door of the community center. The parking lot was dark and calm. Thank you for coming, she said. I would not miss it, I replied. She nodded, then surprised me by stepping back instead of closer. We keep this slow, she said. For him, for us. I respected her more in that moment than ever before. Slow, I agreed. Weeks passed like that. Coffee in public places. Short walks near the lake when the sun was still up. No secrets, no hiding. If Ryan called, she answered. If he visited, I stayed away. It was not easy. Every time Karen smiled at me, I felt it in my chest. Every time her fingers almost brushed mine, I had to remind myself why we were doing this. One afternoon, Ryan called me and asked if I wanted to grab a beer. Just us. My stomach twisted, but I said yes. We sat outside the diner, the same place we had gone since high school. Ryan looked older than I remembered. Not tired. Changed. I still don't like it, he said after a while. I know, I said. But I see her, he continued. I really see her now, and I see you trying not to screw this up. I let out a slow breath. I never wanted to hurt you. He nodded. That's why I'm still here. It was not forgiveness. It was something fragile, but real. The first time Karen and I were alone again at her house, weeks later, It felt different. Not rushed, not dangerous, honest. We sat on the couch, close but careful. The porch swing creaked outside, steady and familiar. "You can leave any time," she said softly. "I don't wanna," I replied. She smiled, then leaned her head against my shoulder. Just that. Nothing more. My whole body relaxed like it had been holding tension for months. "I waited a long time to feel this calm," she said. "So did I admitted. When she finally kissed me, it was slow and sure. No rush, no guilt, just warmth and choice." I kissed her back, knowing exactly what I was stepping into. Later, when I left, the bed I had built was visible through her open bedroom door. Solid, steady, holding the shape of something new. I realized then that some things are not built fast. They are built right. And for the first time, I believed I was strong enough to do that. Life did not suddenly become easy after that. But it became honest. Karen and I kept moving slow, even when every part of me wanted to close the distance faster. We did not hide. If we met, it was in daylight. If we stayed in, Ryan knew. Some days he was quiet about it. Some days he was short. I let him have that. Healing does not happen on a schedule. One evening in early fall, Ryan came back to town again. No warning, no tension-filled phone call. He just showed up at my place with a six-pack like we were still 20 and bored. "Sit," he said. "We need to talk." We sat on my crooked porch, the trees swaying in front of us like they always did. "I'm still not okay," he said. "But I'm not angry all the time anymore." I nodded. "That's fair." "She smiles differently now," he said. "Mom." It scared me at first, like I was losing her. "You're not," I said quietly. He looked at me then, really looked. "You better not make her small again," he said. "I won't," I answered. "I promise." He believed me. I could see it in his face. That night I went to Karen's house. She was painting in the living room, music low, sleeves rolled up. She looked at me and smiled like she always did now, calm and open. "You okay?" she asked. "Yeah," I said. "I think we are." She set the brush down and came to me. This time, when she rested her forehead against my chest, there was no fear in it, just trust. "I waited a long time for this kind of peace," she said. "So did I replied. Later, we lay together on the bed I had built months ago. Not rushed, not stolen, chosen. The wood did not creak. It held us steady. I thought about the boy I had been in that house, the man I had become, the line I almost crossed without thinking, and the one I chose to walk carefully instead. Sometimes love does not arrive loud. Sometimes it builds quietly, one honest choice at a time. And this time, I stayed.